And there we go. The call is now being recorded. And again, welcome to everyone on board here this morning. I want to remind you folks that this call is being recorded. One, two, that members of the media have been invited to participate, and we welcome our friends for the print and broadcast media and their participation in the call. I do want to let you know uh, that we will be posting this later today on the Chamber's website. And I'm pleased to have joining us as well the chairman of the board of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, Dustin Beavers. Uh, Last Friday, the Chamber leadership participated in our annual board retreat. And we had a 6-hour period of very stimulating discussion, which I'll go into in more detail. But I want to invite our chairman of the board, Dustin, to kind of kick things off here. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I appreciate everyone joining us this morning. As Wayne mentioned, we did have our annual board retreat last Friday morning. It was definitely a good day. It gives us the opportunity to come together as existing and new board members. It gives everybody the opportunity to kind of voice their opinion on the direction that the chamber should head, and which I believe we achieved that. We set definitely some tasks that we're going to have to cover over the next next year at least, over maybe the next couple of years, and really basically all boiled down to what is best for Nacogdoches County Chamber and the people that we represent. I believe there's going to be some issues over the horizon that we're going to have to get involved in and make decisions on what's best that we feel is for our business community and the people of Nacogdoches. And before I turn it back over to Wayne, I was able to attend a chamber conference over in Georgetown about 3 weeks ago. And being around all those chamber representatives, the chambers over the past couple of years have definitely changed. They used to be just more of a warm and fuzzy and walk in and let's say hello. There's things that the chambers do now get involved in, such as public policy or advocacy, that they're asked to take a stance in. I know Wayne is emailed or contacted, it seems like almost daily, about things that are going on in Austin and even up in Washington. And we got to remember that we represent, every member of the chamber, their employees, and of course the people here in Nacogdoches. And so very similar to what we did, we got involved with the Nacogdoches ISD school bond a couple years ago, and those are not always easy conversations to have, but they have to be had, and worked with our partners and our business community to make the best decision possible. And so it was definitely a good day, a lot of opinions shared. And I believe we got a sense of direction that we need to head, and looking forward to it over the next, 11, 12 months.
Thank you, Dustin. Any questions of Dustin? Well, again, thank you, Dustin, and thanks for your commitment. I'll tell you, to be a chairman of the board of a chamber is like another full-time job for some of these folks, and we're always blessed we have people step forward like Dustin to serve in these critical roles, and we appreciate your contribution this year. And I do want to spend some time talking about the process. Last Friday we did sequester ourselves and about 20 members of the board, and we wrestled with some really challenging issues. One of the things that Dustin, as chairman, did in setting the table for the planning session was he said everything was on the table for consideration that the chamber's engaged in. Just because we did it last year doesn't necessarily mean we should be doing it this year, because our members' needs change and our community needs changed. And I think the board took that really seriously, because they looked at the projects and programs and evaluated them in terms of the value to our membership and whether or not we should continue engaging in those activities. And so that was the kind of the approach that we took. Everything was discussed, from Blueberry to the Noble Banquet to the Leadership NAC. Everything was discussed, and at the end of the day, we had to determine what our major priorities were. Since the retreat, I've been taking the information that we harvested from Friday and attempting to put it into some type of presentation to feed back to my executive committee so that we can start moving on the items that they discussed as a priority for the chamber. And I'll distill it down. I think it really breaks into three areas. One is obviously the continuation of our program area, critical programs like Leadership NAC, which was given very high approval ratings and value to our members in our community. Programs like the Texas Blueberry Festival, we even asked whether or not that's still relevant. And I'll tell you, out of all the programs we viewed, that was the only one that ended up with 100% of the board members endorsing our continued involvement and expansion into the Texas Blueberry Festival. We looked at programs like the Lone Star Legislative Summit and our chamber days in Austin, which we now do in partnership with our friends from Angelina County and Lufkin. And again, they want to expand those partnerships. They want us to continue to collaborate. I see my friend Nancy Wyndham's on phone here from the Texas Forest Country Partnership. That ought to be music to her ears, and I suspect when we get to reports today, hopefully she'll endorse the board's initiative. But there are really three areas that we need to focus on that really need significant significant involvement next year. One would be in the area of advocacy and public affairs. It's clear to us that there's a role for the chamber to play. And if you ask specifically what issues should we be concerned about, at the top of the list would be issues like advocacy and preparation for the eventual build out of I-69. We all have a stake. Second issue, and this is not an order of importance. I'm just giving you the issues as I'm reading them here. The second issue is the evolution of what will or may take place as it relates to Stephen F. Austin State University. Our members have enormous stake in this issue. The economic value of that institution is beyond question, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that important institution continues to evolve in a positive way so that we benefit here in Nacogdoches. Critically important that we stay involved in that as well. The other is the necessity for investment in infrastructure, so that if a good economic development opportunity comes along, that we're prepared, that we have the water and the sewer capacity in order to take care of a mid-size or large-size industry or business that will help enhance the tax revenue to this city, employment opportunities, and hopefully salaries. But right now, we need to address some shortcomings. We all know what took place on the recent CO. The board certainly has endorsed our involvement in those areas as well. Other programs that they endorsed through the process is beefing up our internal programs like Eggs and Issues and others, so that our topics remain relevant or even more relevant to our members and our communities. Expanding programs like Noble Program, the LOT program, and our education seminars. And I sat through a meeting with our NEDCO partners yesterday and the education committee members from the chamber. And I got to tell you, they're working hard to come up with programs that are really going to benefit people in Nacogdoches so that we're prepared to make the important decisions when they need to be made on things like I-69 and economic development and infrastructure. They're really working hard on coming up with programs, and it's stimulating to me. They did come away saying that we need greater involvement in promoting our area through the area guides and the maps and our social media and our websites. And we got clear direction on that as well. They were very pleased with the performance of programs like Alive After Fives. If you went to the one that was at Tipton Ford on last Thursday night, you saw 250 folks there probably learning about Tipton Ford, learning about the Sasquatch obstacle course, learning about how they're evolving as a company. And the companies today that that are participating on Live After 5 are hitting home runs, whether it's McWilliams and Son and others. It's a great way to get your message out, to expose your goods and services and a wonderful opportunity. So for those of us that attend, let me tell you, if you don't come armed with business cards and prepared to meet folks you don't know, you're missing a tremendous opportunity. Ribbon cuttings, I'm wearing my board of directors and my membership out with the volume of ribbon cuttings, but it's a really great indicator that there are a lot of women and men that are venturing into or expanding businesses here in Nacogdoches, and it's a really good indicator. And the more ribbon cuttings we have, the more evidence it is that Nacogdoches is growing and is a great place to do business. Uh, and uh, and they drilled into some real tough questions about relevance of projects and programs, uh, and what we could or should be doing. There were secondary issues that still are on the horizon and on the chamber's radar, like technology needs and broadband expansion for our areas, especially in rural areas here in Nacogdoches, healthcare and physical plant and mental health, healthcare, physical and mental health are certainly. And I noticed we got our program sponsor from Burke on the line with Kenny Reno, who does a great job in advocating for mental health issues. And Burke fills a critical role in our community in addressing these very challenging needs. And you can't say today mental health without talking about incarceration too, because if you talk to folks in the law enforcement issue, they'll say that sadly there's a tremendous percentage of women and men that are incarcerated today that really do the mental health services that organizations like Burke provides and others. But here's the deal, folks. It's at least talked about that Texas and other states need to put more investment into mental health services and facilities in order to address these critical needs. And I know we've got Gary Lee on the line here. I suspect the folks that he serves, certainly many of them fall into that category. So we've got to advocate for greater investment in mental health services and healthcare and physical services. And certainly workforce development issues can't be ignored. Our friends at Medco do a great job with the job fairs that they do, but and our friends at workforce development do a great job, but and the SBDC in workforce development. But here's the deal: the challenge in that area is staggering. We've all got a role in that, including the chamber, and we're going to have to find where we fit in so that we're not duplicating what each of us are doing, but that we complement each other. And I think my board's very conscious of that. We did take a poll, interesting poll, a couple of polls on prioritization on a couple of issues. One was the future of SFA, and the question was based on your knowledge about the potential SFA affiliation. Please choose one of the following. And of the board members attending, about 43% of them responded that they would support affiliation with another institution. 29% would like to see SFA remain an independent institution, and another 29% indicated that they're not prepared to, at this point, they don't have enough information to make a recommendation. So I thought that was kind of an interesting poll as well at the end in terms of prioritization. So here's the bottom line. We worked hard for 6 hours and we asked tough questions and we got immediate feedback from the women and men that you folks have elected to serve on my board of directors. From a staff standpoint, our job now is to put it into a workable document. And trust me, my staff colleague, Kelly Augustine, who's on this phone, will be hammering me until we finalize this thing, until the staff finalizes this thing over the next few weeks, so we can feed it back to the executive committee and ultimately to the board for ratification. But they worked hard and they talked about tough and sensitive issues. And they tried to determine if the chamber had a dog in the various fights that are going on. And I don't mean fights in a literal sense. They're important issues that Nacogdoches County is addressing. And engagement by not only the chamber, but other organizations is critical for the future of this community in this region. And that's not just engagement in Nacogdoches County. It's with folks like Nancy Wyndham and the Texas Forest Country Partnership, our friends from Lufkin, Angelina. We had down last week Kelly Hall, the president and CEO of Longview, and if that wasn't a wake up call for those of you that participated and attended that program, you didn't hear what she had to say. Let me tell you something. The folks in the upper part of East Texas, they are well prepared to bring home the bacon because they're organized, they know what they want, and most importantly, they're willing to go down to Austin and to Washington and to bring home the bacon. It's our job collectively to do that as well. And I couldn't be prouder of my board of directors and my staff in their willingness to implement a new program this next year in order to hopefully position Nacogdoches to be attractive for investment. I'll stop there. Any questions anybody might have? You can't hurt my feelings. Gary, you don't have anything?
Yeah, no, of course I do. I do. Everybody turn their cameras on. Good Lord, I can't see you. So, Nancy, I know you're driving. That's fine. I don't see Casey on the camera. Ashley, there you go. Come on. There you go, Scott. Thank you. Michelle Flippin, get on there. There's Ashley. Mike Bay, where are you? You don't have a camera. Michelle Peck. Is that Michelle Peck? Okay, come on. Did you all address any of the issues surrounding what I call kind of a divide in the community in terms of the city was trying to move forward with infrastructure repairs and things like that? It looked like a normal business decision. I've talked to other people, the council person, a few other people, and they say, no, this should be with the public and we ought to vote on it. And I know other communities that didn't do it and they're in debt and all that. Did you go there? Did you go with that elephant? You know what I'm talking about? Is that clear?
Dustin, I'm going to ask you to chime in on this, but Gary Lee, we did talk extensively, I think, throughout the day about engagement. And when we talked about it, it wasn't that we talked about talking to each other in terms of the internal chamber leadership and membership, but engagement at all levels with the community at large and with municipal leadership and other organizations and other partners within the region. I think that was a reoccurring theme during the course of the day. I've met with a lot of folks that I had great agreement and consensus with, and I met with some that on many issues we disagree. But what I love, and even in the board meeting, I think it's fair to say, I'm not going to. We operate in a confidential environment, but I think I am okay to say that that discussion was not monolithic. There was a lot of various opinions on specific issues and a lot of vigorous debate, even among my board. But at the end of the day, what I loved about it the most, and I said it in my newsletter yesterday, was they agreed to remain in communications and friends and partners in moving the needle forward here. And I love that. Dustin?
Yeah, I agree. I think number one's a great question, Gary Lee. A lot of times, most important thing for me is that the chamber board is educated on whatever is being brought to us. I believe that we have been behind the 8 ball on a few things that as you move over in the advocacy world, you're going to get brought up and you're going to have people come in and talk and you're going to have questions. It's not just as simple as, do you want to approve this and let's be done. I made the comment Friday morning that I don't believe that we'll have very many I don't believe everybody will vote a yay or nay on a lot. I think we'll have some split votes this year in decisions. And we have a very well-rounded board. We have a lot of experience. We have a lot of people that are engaged in the community. And at the end of the day, Gary Lee, that's what we can do is ask questions, have people come in and talk to us, gather all the facts. And if it's something that we feel is necessary for the better of our business community, we can be the vehicle that pushes those facts out and answers questions and helps in any way that we can.
That's good, Dustin. I agree with both of you. I'm glad you're taking that approach. Charlotte, if you'll Google up monolithic for me, I don't really know what that means. Keep it simple for me, Dwayne. My concern is just not having negative discussions about these things. You know, one side, this is the way we're going to do it and what have you. Are you positioned well as a chamber board to deal with a bond election and that kind of stuff? Should that come about?
If we have an appropriate role that has been defined, and there was concern expressed uh, about the state of infrastructure in the city and our capacity to be able to accommodate a major industry. So having said that, I don't think there's any reluctance on part of the board or the chamber to engage in that based on the feedback from the leadership. Having said that, though, we want to make sure our role is appropriate and that we engage all of the stakeholders and community, including community partners today that have reservations about it. I mean, I've got Scott Waller, who is a former chair on this line here today. I got to tell you something. Scott and I worked together over a period of years when I first got here, including his chairmanship. There were lots of times when Scott and I had a different opinion on a particular issue. But at the end of the day, you know what? We were able to coalesce and to come to some type of agreement to move the needle forward on those issues. Just because Scott was wrong doesn't necessarily mean that I can't live. Now I'm joking. I'm joking about that, Scott. Scott, is that a fair statement though?
Absolutely. And, you know, I would, one of my superpowers is stating the obvious. And I would say that the chamber, while certainly advocating on national and state issues is something that we need to be doing, I believe that the chamber has the biggest impact advocating on local issues. So, you know, the people of Nacogdoches care what the Nacogdoches Chamber has to say a lot more than the legislature in Austin or Congress in Washington, D.C. I would say the people in Washington, D.C. really don't have Nacogdoches on their radar, and I don't really know that they really care what we think, what we want, what we believe. But the people of Nacogdoches certainly care a great deal about what the Nacogdoches Chamber believes. So while those local issues are certainly some of the touchiest, because you know it's personal, and you know we're face to face with the people that may have a different opinion. I believe that's local issues are where we can make the largest impact.
And Scott, I totally agree with you. And I'll give you two examples of national issues that it came on the horizon yesterday that I polled my board members on and members of the healthcare community. One was on telemedicine because the authorization to be able to reimburse for telemedicine was about ready to expire on a federal level. And the U.S. Chamber asked us to weigh in on a letter to members of Congress urging them to extend that because it's become critical, especially to rural areas in the United States, and we did so with the authorization of several members of our health community. I polled my board yesterday on the rail strike issue. As you know, some of the unions have rejected the proposed settlement that was negotiated by the Biden administration with folks in the rail community, and there's possibility of another rail strike. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what the impact would be on some of our large businesses here in Nacogdoches if they lose their ability to be able to transport their goods on rail and have to go to trucking at $5 a gallon per, you know, it could be devastating. This chamber here weighed in on both of those issues and urged Congress to act appropriately on that to ensure that, you know, that we don't take an economic hit on that. But if people think because we're located in the middle of East Texas that our voice doesn't count, let me tell you something. I'm proud when I see our letter among the hundreds of other chambers and business organizations. If we've got a dog in the fight, then I'm going to ask the question of our membership about state issues. And we got a legislative session coming up. Not everything that is being proposed in Austin, Texas will favor East Texas. And you know what? The metro areas, I counted the amount of lobbyists on staff of the metro area chambers in the last 3 weeks, just to get a sense of how well armed they are to advocate for their members in their regions, the Dallases and the Austins and the San Antonios and the Houstons, and the numbers of people that have just the responsibility of advocacy in those chambers is staggering. More so probably in one chamber than we have all of East Texas. It's amazing. So it's no mystery to me why we're at the end of the food chain. We've got to do a better job in advocating in Austin and Washington. And I think my board recognizes that. Any other questions? Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to at least share this. We'll have a written report out within the next few weeks after it's ratified by my executive committee, my board. I want to thank my board members that are on this call once again that did that, but they did a great job. The city manager indicated to me he's got a conflict this morning. As a matter of fact, he's dealing with some issues that will be on the agenda for the city council meeting coming up that'll be related to infrastructure. So God bless him and the folks at the city council, and we need to get our voice heard down there on those issues. So we'll move off. I see Misty's on the line from Stephen F. Austin State University. Misty, what's going on? Did I lose Misty?
Oh, Wayne, I'm sorry.
That's
I was
all right.
zoned out. So, as I mentioned in the meeting earlier this morning, one of the biggest things that happening on our campus is about the Showcase Saturday event that's taking place this weekend. And we have almost more than 1,200 students registered, prospective students registered for the event, and almost 4,000 guests registered for the event. So we should see quite a few new faces here in Nacogdoches this weekend, which we're super excited about.
Well, we're excited too. I'm looking forward to being part of the showcase on Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so as well. We hope to see y'all there.
Great. I see Ryan Ivey on the line. Ryan, congratulations to the basketball teams, both men's and women's. We started off with a victory there. You must be proud of that.
Yeah, you bet. It's always fun. Always fun. You can't go undefeated until you win the first one. So that's the best thing that we got. So 1-0 on both sides of it. How's
the weekend shaping up for football?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Weather's supposed to be really good. It's going to be a little cool, but it'll be a 4:00 game against Central Arkansas. Has a lot of implications for us from a playoff standpoint, and certainly opportunity to win a WAC championship is still there for us. So got to win this week and next week, and then we'll have a chance, hopefully, maybe to make the FCS playoffs again.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Ryan, for that report. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I see Casey is on the line from Nedco. Casey Foster. Good morning, Casey.
Good morning. Good to see y'all. Super excited to be here. Again, excited for Showcase, just like everyone else was talking about. We've kind of initiated a little bit of a partnership to merge that gap between the city and, SFA and all that fun stuff. So we'll be there with Visit Nacogdoches and the Chamber and CBTX. So we're starting that off this semester and see how we can grow it for next. We are working with Corey, the Center on Rural Innovation. So we've been doing an assessment phase for about the past month or so. And it's been great. We're in a cohort with people from Alaska and all over the country. So that's really exciting. But we are looking to be the first town in Texas to participate. So we're really excited about that. And we are moving into the strategy phase. So I'll continue with updates. Thanks.
That's great. Any questions of Casey? Great. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. And I know that she's in her car, headed, I believe, back to Nacogdoches. Would you welcome Nancy Wyndham, please?
Well, it all sounds great and exciting. I'm going to lose reception here in just a little bit. We'll continue to work on broadband issues. But Deep East Texas is in need of everything, and I look forward to the next steps. And I want to say a special thank you to the board of directors for committing the time to have that retreat and address and answer and come together on those major hard decisions. I do feel a great synergy and a positive move forward. And thank you to all. And we'll be back with you the next time we can report out from the region. We're gearing up for the session. I'm on my way back from Austin. I do know that economic development and tourism for the state is under sunset review, and Adriana will be presenting in the morning in front of that committee. We do have Travis Clardy that's on that committee, so it's good to have representation there. We don't want to lose our agencies that support us every day. Many of you that were at the summit heard some of their presentations, and we just need to step up and make sure that our people know about Deep East Texas and the services and the support that we need, and we are just as important, as you've said earlier, as every other region in Texas. So I appreciate everyone, and we'll be reporting back soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. A safe trip home. I do see that we're fortunate to have Cassandra Stokes from the Small Business Development Center on the line. Cassandra, any updates on your end?
Hey there. No, I don't have any updates to report this week, but I do want to talk a little bit. Probably, I don't know if Kelly's going to talk about this or not, but you may have seen in the business section of the newspaper, the Chamber and NEDCO are partnering together to have another one of the business sessions, and that's happening in 4 weeks on December the 5th. On Monday from 11:30 to 1:30. You'll see more communication from Barbara on it and stuff, but I'm very excited about being the moderator for that. We've got 3 great experienced professionals, 2 directors and 1 business owner that will be on the panel, and we'll be addressing hiring trends basically and the challenges of that. They'll be answering questions about that and some of their biggest issues and challenges with it and how they've changed their hiring practices. And so it's going to be a really good session, and I'm looking forward to it. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Cassandra. Any questions? Thank you, Cassandra. I sat through that meeting yesterday, and I'm really excited about that program. I think it's going to be interesting to see how people are pivoting in order to accommodate, first of all, an aging workforce and a changing workforce. It's going to be fun to hear that's going on. So great. Well, I see my great friend Sherry Morgan, the director of Visit Nacogdoches, on the line, and she's going to give us a hospitality update. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning, my friend Wayne, and good morning, all my other friends in the community. This past weekend, we were blessed as a community to witness and welcome the Veterans Day Parade on Saturday morning. It was a larger than usual show out for them, and of course Charlie Doches was in the mix, as was the Wednesday Rotary Group. And that Rotary Group also worked very hard and diligently to make sure the Field of Honor was set up and on display in Festival Park, so that people that were coming down for the festivities of the parade could take in that as well. And later on that same day, on Saturday, we held, I think it's the 7th, maybe 8th, annual Dia de los Muertos festival. And I came in at the end of it, and that was also the night of the final game, what would be the final game of the World Series, go Astros. And I came in at the tail end just to work the last shift of keeping the CVB open for bathrooms, and the streets were crawling with people. I mean, it was extraordinarily well attended, and that is an event that is stewarded by Crystal Hicks at the library as well as Mercedes. Um, and if you see Crystal out in the community, especially, um, give her a pat on the back because she is one of those behind the scenes, hidden, welcome warrior that we are blessed to have in our community and working with the library. Um, she comes from a family of artists. She herself is, is an artist, and um, man, she does so much to reinforce the history of this community, the presence of this community, as well as the future of this community. But that event, I'm trying to think of a word to describe it, but it was beautiful. It was just beautiful to see the cultures that usually we don't try to separate out the different cultures, but in this instance, there's such richness in that diversity um, of a civilization and a culture and a people, that celebrate things a little differently, um, and that have such strong ties to their history. So it was gorgeous. The Nacogdoches Arts Alliance was in on it as well. So there was active art, which Nacogdoches has an inherently deep and diverse art scene, as well as everything else. And it was just one of those weekends where it was really great to live in Nacogdoches. And um, of course, the people that participate in the stakeholders call every week um, do their parts every day to make Nacogdoches a great place to live and a great place to visit. Um, and in that vein, I hope that you all, if you haven't early voted already, get out today and cast your vote. Um, and also, it's about time for me to start the cattle call for volunteers. Mike Bay currently is working on putting together an appreciation banquet for our volunteers, but our volunteer base is shrinking, and we need you. We need businesses to volunteer. We need organizations to volunteer. We can help market your group. Um, to the public so they know who is keeping the doors open on the CVB on those weekends. We always need help during lunch hours so that staff can take a lunch and still do business, have time to do business, and they're not, kept to the desk answering phones. So um, I challenge you to keep what we have here in Nacogdoches alive and strong by volunteering and helping out. And you will be amazed at what you see when you start just anecdotally talking to the people that choose to visit Nacogdoches and what brings them here and just their journey and their travels or their ties to Nacogdoches. You will gain a whole new depth of appreciation for this town that we get to see every day. Um, Pretty tight. I'm going to let United Way, they kind of, between Main Street and United Way, they have the bulk of the programs that will see us through to the new year. So I'll let them speak to those events. But from the Charles Bright Visitor Center and our staff, I want to thank all of you and everything that you do every day in ways big and small to help make Nacogdoches a great place to visit.
Hey, Sherry, did you see Roxy was in the parade too? That's our United Way car. Her name is Roxy. Caroline will tell you more about that when she gets to it.
Yeah,
Blowing and going through that parade, I'm sure. Caroline was driving it. She's a fast driver. All right.
I've heard that. Thank you, Gary Lee. You're muted, Wayne.
I just want to thank you again for all you and your staff are doing. You keep this town active and vibrant, and it's really great to see so much going on. and your promotion of events is invaluable to all of us. I can't tell you what a great partner Visit Nacogdoches is to all of us.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
You're quite welcome. I also want to let you know that we will now hear from my good friend Anita Scott. Anita, talking about keeping this town alive, she's got lots going on up there. Anita, what's
Yes,
going on up there?
yes, we do. Well, Sherry was talking about the busy weekend that they had downtown. We as well had a very busy weekend here at the Expo Center. We hosted the Parker McCollum concert this past weekend, and it was promoted by B. Weiss Entertainment Group. It was a sold out crowd, over 6,000 people plus was here at the Expo Center on this past Saturday night. Today we are the polling location for the precinct 21 voters. And then tomorrow night, we have Heritage Land Bank will be hosting a meeting here, and I don't know what their agenda is or what their topic of discussion is, but if that's something you're interested in, get with me after this conference call, and I'll be glad to get the information for you on that. We also have a Piney Woods Fair wrap-up meeting happening tomorrow evening here at the Expo Center. And then this Saturday night, the 12th, is the Nacogdoches County Area Go Texans Steak Dinner banquet. That's a fundraiser, and the tickets are $100, and it's a chance to win $5,000. And you also get 2 steak dinners with that purchase of the $100 raffle ticket. And again, that the gates or the doors will open at 6 p.m. We have the Holiday in the Pines is coming up this month. They'll be moving in here at the Expo Center on the 14th, but their doors don't open until the 17th. That's the One Hilton night from 6 to 9 p.m. and the tickets are $35 for that. And then we'll be here. Doors will open at 10 a.m. on Friday and 9 a.m. on Saturday. The one-day pass is $10 and a 2-day pass is $15. I would strongly encourage you to go to their website, nacjuniorforum.org, to purchase your tickets. I know those One Hip Night tickets go really fast, and so they may already be sold out. I'm not real sure about that. But and then we have the GNS Gun Show, the weekend of Thanksgiving. That's the 25th through the 27th. And on the 28th, the Nacogdoches Citizens Police Academy banquet will be held here at the Expo Center. And then on the 29th, we have the Livestock Validation under Born 3. So we have a lot going on. We have, I was looking at the calendar, over 12 separate events happening right here at the Expo Center the month of November, and a couple of those being multiple day events. So we've got a lot going on, and behind the scenes, we're also working on the Nacogdoches Pro Rodeo sponsorships, all the things to get ready for that, which is not until March, but you know, it takes a lot of time to get ready for that. So we are already working on that. So any of you business owners that are on this call, you'll be receiving the forms for sponsorships and phone calls and all that good stuff real soon. So that's all I have happening here. Be sure to give us a call here at the Expo Center. Like us on our Facebook page. Go to our website at nacexpo.net to get more information about the events that I've mentioned here today.
Thank you, Anita. And this you reinforced my statement that Nacogdoches is a town that never sleeps.
That's
Always
right.
something great going on out at the Nacogdoches County Exposition, and we're pleased to have so much to do. I do want to call your attention to a couple of other things going on. We have a ribbon cutting at XETX Business Solutions, which will be on Tuesday, a week from today, on November 15th, from 3 to 3:30. And if you come ring the bell, guess what? XETX will donate $20 for each person watching the demo to the Nacogdoches Area United Way. So that's friends on this call helping friends. Scott, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, we've been in existence as a separate company for 20 years now. We wanted to mark that anniversary, and we wanted to do something special for the United Way. So we thought we would put that together, and we're going to have some barbecue from Be Blessed Barbecue, cookies from Cookies on Wheels. And I've even asked Be Blessed to bring their peanut butter and jelly to put on your barbecue if you're so inclined. If you haven't had the landslide, it's really, really tasty. So if you'll come by and watch about a 5 to 10 minute demo on some of the products and services that we provide. We've got this bell that we ring whenever somebody sells something. We'll let you ring that bell. It's a really cool bell. It makes a great sound. And when you ring that bell, we'll donate $20 to United Way. So we hope to be able to raise some money and have a great time, and you can get some good barbecue. So hope to see you next Tuesday.
It sounds great, Scott. And ringing the bell, it reminds me of the great song that I grew up with by Chuck Berry called My Ding-a-Ling. So there you go.
Thank you for that, Wayne. Thank you for bringing that up, Wayne. That's really cool. That's cool.
You can actually see him perform My Ding-a-Ling on YouTube if you're interested after this call.
Okay. All right.
But all kidding aside, this is going to be a fun event, and it does some great things, and will help Caroline and Gary Lee out at United Way, and there you go. So any other comments or questions from any of our partners on the call? If not, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating today. We wish you continued success.
Hey, don't go away.
Go ahead.
We want to tell you a couple more things from the United Way. It won't take a minute.
Gary Lee, I apologize. I don't know how I missed you.
I don't know how you could miss me. Caroline, Ellen, Garner, hit it.
Sure. Okay. First of all, looking forward to all the ringing. That's all I'm going to say. Just the ringing of the bell. I'll leave the rest up to Wayne's description. Very colorful description there. This is going to be quite an exciting party there. So all the treats and R&K will be there with beer as well. And we want you guys to come and ring the bell, have some fun celebrating XETX, Business Solutions, and raising money for United Way's campaign. And Scott Waller, I don't think it was mentioned, he's a former United Way board member, chairman, and he's not on our board anymore. He was for a very long time, but we're so lucky to have him still involved with us and supporting us. I mean, he's just such a great community volunteer overall. So we're looking forward to that next Tuesday, just a week from today. And thank you, Scott, for all the plans you're making for that event, for celebrate you and to help United Way. And speaking of which, this is a wonderful campaign event. We are in our United Way campaign. It's election day, so everybody's got campaign on the brain. So let's have United Way campaign on the brain. This is not a voting campaign. This is a fundraising campaign, because the way it works, we have 19 partner agencies in the community that we want to support for 2023, that we will support for 2023, but we need your help. We need people in the community to make pledges for 2023. So that's what we do in the fall. We have the United Way fundraising campaign. We already have a lot of partners who've run their campaigns, companies and schools, businesses who've taken pledges from employees, and those will be paid to United Way next year and then go right back out into the community to these 19 wonderful organizations in the areas of health, education, and financial stability. We are still doing this, though, so if you haven't had a chance to participate, through SFA, it's done with the State Employee Charitable Campaign. Individuals and businesses, anybody can get involved. We're always happy to share the United Way message. It's an easy way for anybody to make this commitment to give back to the community, however much they want to give next year. It all adds up. And then we take it from there for you and make sure it goes where it is most needed. So please get in touch with us. We do have a car again. If you went to the Veterans Day Parade, you probably saw this sweet silver Hyundai Accent donated by Rex Perry Autoplex in the Veterans Day Parade. It was the almost best for last. It was very near the end of the parade, right in front of the horses. So that was super fun for me as the driver, and Kenny and her son as Evan as passengers. We could see those horses coming up behind us and doing the dance behind us and all that. So that was really fun. But anyway, we were proud to drive that car. We have that car available for one lucky donor. If you pledge My Fair Share, which is just 1 hour pay per month, then your name is entered for a chance to win that Hyundai Accent donated by Rex Perry Autoplex. So encourage you to do that. Also coming up, we have, well, the Christmas parade has been mentioned already. That's Saturday, December 3rd at 6:30. Our theme this year is really fun. It's Christmas through the decades. We're going to line the parade up chronologically, starting from way back whenever the earliest float is, maybe the roaring 20s, maybe who knows how far back that'll go, up until, you know, the fabulous 50s and 80s, whatever theme that somebody wants to go with for a certain decade. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And you can get information about that on our website at unitedwaynac.org. There's a link, or give us a call. I'll send you an entry form. Also on our website, there's information about the annual turkey trot. And our race director, our repeat race director, volunteer extraordinaire for that is Keeney Rena. I'm not sure if I don't see her on this call. She was with us and then she had to leave, but she was going to possibly chime in from wherever she was going, but I don't see her popping in. So I'm going to take it. That is Thanksgiving morning. This will be our 13th annual turkey trot sponsored by Pilgrims. Anybody can come and have a good time Thanksgiving morning. We have a 5K and a kids K. You can walk or run, bring your family, your dog. There is a prize for first place dog, also for best costumes. The Kids K is free. It's sponsored by the Jaycees. At 8 o'clock, the kids can run 1K right around Pecan Park chasing a giant turkey, believe it or not. And then at 8:30 is when the 5K steps off, and that goes out into the streets of Nacogdoches, really lovely route, and back on the trail. And you do that, and then you've already burned your Thanksgiving calories in advance, and it's just a super fun event. So we encourage you to gather your friends and family and get involved in our turkey trot.
Thank you, Caroline. Any questions of Caroline or Gary Lee?
Thank you, Wayne. Live United. Again, the car's name is Roxy. I'm proud of that. I like that name. I'm going to name our daughter Charlotte Roxy. Okay. All right.
Got it. Kelly, anything you want to add, or Sherry? Nope, I think we're cool. Well, folks, on that note, we will conclude the meeting.